It is Dr. V here with Morning Infusion with Dr. V podcast, where we are intentional about teaching nurses how to work from anywhere around the world, making money and owning your own time, building profitable nurse coaching and consulting businesses. You will hear from amazing guests that have grown their companies and want to share insight into how you can do the same to change the face of healthcare as we know it. If you want to grow your businesses and leverage your knowledge as a nurse to grow wildly successful businesses at the top, instead of working your way to the top, head on over and join our Millionaire Nurse CEO group on Facebook, where you can ask questions and get updates on our live and virtual events to help you grow your businesses. Good morning, everyone. So I am super excited this morning to have Miss Danielle Jenkins. So before we talk to Danielle, what I want you to do is, if you're on YouTube, I ask that you subscribe to the channel. I ask that you comment, like, share. If you're on Facebook or any other platform, comment, like, share the podcast. And also, if you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. Tell us how we're doing. And also rate the show, because we want to ensure that we're getting the word out about these amazing, amazing nurses. And so, Miss Danielle, tell us who you are in your own words.
Good morning, everybody. I am Danielle Jenkins. I am not your average nurse, is what I like to say. I have been a nurse for 24 years. I am founder and CEO of Nursing and Style Consulting, where I help nurses to become entrepreneurs in the fields of home health and IV clinics. I have a strong passion for entrepreneurship, and I believe that life has no limits. The limits are within your own mind. You can do what you set your mind to, and you need the people around you to help you to get there. I often say that Kobe Bryant didn't become great without a coach. You do your part, the coach will help you do the rest. And that is why you need me as your coach.
I love it. I love it. So, Danielle, we're kind of going to go back. All right. So let's go back to kind of why you even became a nurse from the very beginning. Tell us about that.
Really, I had two people that inspired me to become a nurse, my mother-in-law and the nurse that took care of me when I was having my first baby, Nurse Gina. I'll never forget Nurse Gina. Having my first baby, I was hungry. I was in the hospital for a very, very long time, and that baby was not coming. So I was like, what do I need to do to get out of here so I can go eat? And she said, you know that this baby's probably coming in the next 24 hours. I said, yeah, that's another 24 hours. I'm hungry right now. She was very, very kind, and she let me sign a paper. Now, when I think about it, that was horrible. But I signed the paper, and I walked out of there. And I got to the line in Burger King, and I went in labor in that line. But I had to act like I was okay all night because I got my burger. And I had to show back up at the doctor's office at 8 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't wait for that office to open up. But I'll never forget how kind Nurse Gina was. She was non-judgmental. She let me sign those papers. She gave me all of my instructions. And the next morning, I ended up back in that same hospital in that same room. And she said, was the burger good?
I love it.
She was so nurturing and kind. She didn't judge me. And I think that's what I remember the most. She just did not judge me. So that's where my bedside manners came from. My mother-in-law at the time, Kimberly, she was a powerhouse nurse. She owned multiple home health agencies. She was great in the political realm. She showed me how to finesse business, and she took me under her wings. And long before I was a nurse, she made me learn everything about home health. Everything. I couldn't understand it. She said, go sit with the finance department. Okay. Go to the quality department. Okay. Go sit with the DON. All right. And I just started absorbing. And then one time she told me, I need you to write my check. I said, huh? She said, go to finance. I need to get my paycheck. I said, okay. And I knew how to write checks. I'm that old. You write checks. And so I wrote the amount that she said. It was 10,000. I said, that's one check? She said, yeah. I said, okay. My life changed from that point on. This was back when minimum wage was $4 and some change. I need to do whatever that is so I can write myself a $10,000 check at any given time that I want to do that. That's what I want to do. And so I just started tuning in. And I wasn't a nurse at this time. I was, still in college. I'm just going to tune in to whatever it is that she's doing. And I want to start figuring out how to get through objectives the way that she gets through objectives. And that's how it went. So it was no surprise, that I ended up on the path that I ended up on.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love how she nurtured you in that way, right?
Yes.
Because it's, when you're going into entrepreneurship, one of the things is that you really want to be able to see that, see it, right?
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that you can't be what you can't see, right? And so that's the reason why representation is everything, and that's the reason why I love nurses and entrepreneurship, because one of the things that happens is people think that when they think nurses, they think at the bedside, they think in the clinic, they think whatever, right? But nurses are amazing at innovating. Like, we're the ones who come up with the ideas most of the time, that changes the processes in the hospital. And so, because of that, we need to be intentional about doing that, for our own selves in order to be able to build generational wealth and create inheritances. When you started, so you didn't start as a home health nurse, correct? Where did you start at?
That's correct. I started off in oncology. I had an opportunity to become a nurse tech at a hospital in New Orleans. And I was intrigued on the oncology floor. And I thought, I wonder if I can get an opportunity to work on this floor. And sure enough, when I graduated, they offered me the job. So I ended up there. While I was there for a few months, I was watching the nurses. And what I saw, I did not like. They were tired. They were complaining, and they were always looking at the obituary. And I just thought that just does not feel right. Um, and the attraction at the time was night nursing. Everybody wanted the extra pay for night. That was not exciting to me either. I realized that at the time my husband was working 12-hour shifts. I was working 12-hour shifts. Who's going to raise my son? Who's going to raise our baby? This is not going to work. I need another option and opportunity. And someone presented my husband at the time an opportunity to go into home health. He gave me the business card and said, "You need to call this lady." No, I don't need to call her. Uh, so that's me. You got to convince me. So after a while, I called and went in and interviewed and did a home health visit as a nurse. Remember, I hadn't done anything as a nurse. And at that level, my eyes opened. I was amazed. I had an opportunity to teach and educate a patient. I had an opportunity to be free and independent, go from house to house, didn't have to sit in a building for 12 hours. And I was like, I love this. And so I started doing hospital a couple of days a week, home health a couple of days a week. And she called me and said, "I want to offer you an opportunity to come full time." And I thought, you can't afford that. I work in a hospital and I work for you. Between those two paychecks, I'm good. That's where my mind was at the time. She wrote out an offer, and I had to act like that was not a big offer. So I negotiated with her, and I got a 50% pay raise to get out of the hospital, and I
Oh,
left. Yes.
and that's another thing too. You always have to negotiate your salary.
Always.
Always. Now, and somebody, Dr. Ebony, the other day, was it Dr. Ebony? Yeah, Dr. Ebony. She said the other day, she said, when you are in, you have to negotiate what you want, right? Whether
Yes.
it's time or whether it's money, right? And so you have to negotiate that whenever you go into any position. I mean, I've been in plenty of positions and I've never negotiated. I just took whatever they gave me, except for the last couple, right? Because I didn't understand that power of negotiation. So I love that. I love that. Love that. Now, you after you worked at this home health company, I'm assuming that Katrina came. So is my assumptions correct? Because you were in New Orleans, right?
Yes, yes. So it was a little bit of that happened. While I was at the home health company, I started soaring pretty quickly through what's called the Oasis at the time.
Mhm.
Um, so I got promoted into a director of nursing position within a year of coming out of nursing school.
Mm.
And she opened another home health company and said, "Hey, I just opened up this company. Go over there, name the company, create the mission, fire whoever don't need to be there. 1 year out of nursing school." So that's where I got my strong niche to get in and worked as an entrepreneur. and doing all of that, enjoying my life, becoming one of the best of what I was doing. And then Hurricane Katrina kind of came along the pathway. And I say that because no one in New Orleans was expecting that storm to come. And at the time, I had a strong desire to own my own home health company. You know, she gave me that opportunity, and I saw that, hey, I did all of that, but I couldn't write myself a $10,000 check in that lady's business. Um, so I really, really wanted to open up a home health, but there was a moratorium on home health in Louisiana, so I couldn't do it. So me and my other friends, Mara and Vicky, we were standing back there just admiring what was happening, but we also desired to own our own home health. Fast forward, Hurricane Katrina did hit, and my family and I relocated to Texas. And while I was in Texas, I went back into home health. It was what I knew best, and realized that there was a huge lack. People didn't know what infusion nursing was, they didn't understand port care. And I thought I had an opportunity there. So while working with this home health company, I said, have you ever considered implementing an infusion program? She said, what is that? I said, I can help to blow your company up. We can go from being over here in a little hood area with the rats on the floor to the high rise building. And she went with it. So I implemented the infusion nursing program, and I doubled that company's census. We moved out of that little, literally, it was rats on the floor. We moved out of that place into a high-rise business building off of Oakland Avenue. And so what I saw was this process works. This product works. I can train nurses. I understand everything about infusion nursing. Let me take this to another level. And while I was there, my friend Jan came to visit me from, at the time, it was Infusion Partners, and she was like, you want to start your own home health company? I said, yeah, I've been wanting to do that for a while, but I don't know if I can do that in Texas. And so many people kept approaching me in Texas, Dallas area, and saying, you can start your own home health company. You got so much knowledge. I said, you can do that here? They said, yes. I said, really? How much money will I need? They told me, and I said, I'm on. So I told Jan, I said, look, I'm going to start my own home health company. I didn't know what I was talking about fully, but I just knew I wanted to jump and do it. And Jen said, I'm going to make a phone call and I'm going to get you a contract. What? I'm going to get my first contract before I even have the company, before I even have a license. I don't have an employee. I don't have a policy and procedure. I don't have nothing. I just have the desire that I'm going to do. What that taught me, Dr. V, is you have to jump when it's on you. You have to go when it's on you. If you go, God will line everything up for you. From that point on, so many people started coming into my life. I got my policies and procedures from another business owner. He said, you're starting your company? I said, yeah. He said, come get my policies and procedures. You can copy it. I said, how much do I owe you for that? He said, nothing. Just
Mm.
help me out from time to time when I need a consultant. Wow. I need a medical director. Oh my goodness, how am I going to get a medical director? I just moved here to Dallas. I don't know anybody. I'm on an airplane. I'm in New Orleans, coming back to Dallas. I see a young lady. She has a daiquiri in her hand. Something says, say hello. Stranger stops at hello. I'm gonna say hello. Hey, how you doing? See, you got a daiquiri. I didn't get one. She said, yeah, girl, you should have got your daiquiri. She said, where are you going? I said, to Dallas. We were at Enterprise dropping our car off. And I said, wow, she was very nice. I'm glad I said hello. She got to talking, and we were having a good time chopping it up on the little bus ride on our way to the airport. And she said, well, we got to hang out together. I love concerts. I said, well, I love music too. And she hands me her card. Dr. Laura Dion. You have now, come on, Laura. What is this? Dr. Dion is still my friend until this day, and she agreed to be my medical director. I said, Dr. Dion, how much do I need to pay you for this? Because people were charging a lot of money then. They were really trying to cut home health agency owners with their costs. She said, nothing, girl. You're so sweet. We just hang out, go to concerts, and do life together. What? So here I am. Now I'm a single parent. I'm here at Katrina. I'm trying to launch my home health company. I have two babies at this point. Don't know where my next, my dollars are coming in at. So I need to be careful. But I just knew to jump, just like keep going. And as I kept going, it was like coins were being dropped at every pathway with everything that I needed. There was nothing that I suffered for during that time. And I took a $40,000 pay cut coming to Texas at that time. I had a home in New Orleans that I still had to take care of because I didn't lose my home in Katrina like many other people. while I have to take care of my place in Texas because there was nothing to go back to in New Orleans. There was no hospitals to go back and work at. There were no home healths to go back and work at. This was, less than 6 months after Katrina, I was going through this process. And less than 1 year after Katrina, I was the owner of my home health company.
That is crazy. That is a crazy ride. Like I've heard it before, but like I don't think I've heard it in that level of detail before. And that is amazing. So tell that is crazy. So tell me a little bit about like how did you get the mindset to jump? Like what did that come from?
Watching my mother-in-law at the time. My mother-in-law was a single parent of 3 children, had 3 children before the age of 20, went back to school, got her high school diploma, put herself through nursing school, and she just had this desire like she was going to do it. I saw her working in hospitals, and then I saw her move up to owning her home health company. Then I saw her say, "I'm buying another home health company. Come with me. Let's go do the paperwork." What? Then she's like, "I'm buying another one." This just seemed like it just flowed, and I just saw things in a pathway. And then my mother was also an entrepreneur. We were in the projects, and I saw her like starting a home business where you sell home interior. Then I saw her doing taxes, so, and she started getting everybody in the project, and she was doing their taxes. So entrepreneurship was around me. Then my father worked a full-time job, but he sold shoes on the side. He was an entrepreneur. So this mindset was just buried within me. And I learned that you can have more if you just think outside of the box. Stop trying to be where people want to put you and stay in that mold. So that's why I often say I'm not the average nurse. So when I tell people I'm a nurse, they say, "What hospital you work at?" Yeah, you won't get it. No, I don't work in a hospital. Huh? What do you mean you don't work in a hospital? This just happened to me last night. She says, "What do you do?" I say, "I'm a nurse." Oh, she immediately thought where she was going to put me in a box. No, 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 dear. I'm not your average nurse. And I don't mean that with negativity. When I say that because in nursing, you have such huge opportunities to do such great things, and you're not limited just to inpatient. You can do inpatient, you can do outpatient. But while you're doing that, I need you to be open to learning everything about what's happening around you. I had a call with a nurse yesterday that gave a tagline that was so amazing and helped an organization with this product. And I said, "What did you get paid for that product?" "Oh, nothing, nothing." Nurses, stop giving away stuff for free. Stop it. You just said you have so much knowledge. You can take that and you can take your family to another level. You can take that knowledge, you can turn it into a business, and now you can create scholarships. I will be giving away a $5,000 scholarship this year. I called it, I said it, I believe it. I will be writing the checks. It's done. You have to learn to jump behind the things that you want, and you need a coach because there's going to be times where you're going to jump and you're going to be scared that you jump. Huh, Dr. V? I was very scared in the beginning when I was charging $600 for my consulting services, and you said, "You could charge more than that." Huh? What? I don't want to lose my clients, Dr. V. What? Yeah,
And you didn't, did you?
I did not.
That's the thing that I do love about you because when we jumped on our breakthrough strategy call, you were like, "Okay, let's do this," right? Like, let's roll with it. And that is the jumping mentality, and that mindset is huge. And one of the things that I love about you because and that's like when we start talking and you start talking about infusion nursing, I
Mhm.
was like, that is a huge gap. Huge because way back in the day when I first started nursing, I remember it so specifically. There was this young, she was probably in her 20s, mid 20s. She had diabetes, but she had a specific bug that had to have IV antibiotics.
Mhm.
Now, this chick was walking around, chopping it up with us, having a great time, right? Had other than her IV being in her arm, there was no reason why she should be in the hospital. None. And so the patients who were in the emergency department were waiting for rooms. that they could have had her room had it not been for the fact that we had the infrastructure of IV infusion outside of the hospital in place. And so when you came to me, you started talking about that, I was like, oh, that's golden. That is golden. I was like, that can make a lot of money. And I was like, oh yeah, that is truly, truly somewhere we can be. And when you start talking about, all the opportunities that come with that. And I think that one thing that when you are thinking about what you want to do, think about your level of expertise, right? Think about the fact that there are gaps in healthcare. And I remember, okay, so I'm talking to me, all right? So don't think I'm judging everybody else, because way back when, all right, I used to say, this doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense, right? When I turned it around and I said, it doesn't make any sense, but then we can fix it. And so when I started having that mindset of fixing it, that's when the game changed, because as long as you're problem solving, you have an endless paycheck, period. And so tell me about, like, when did you, like, amongst all this, because you hadn't been a nurse long, when did you go back to school to get your MBA and your master's? When did you do all that?
So, it's another story that I tell people. They see my name and see all of the commas, and they think that I got to the level that I am because of the commas. No, ma'am. I didn't go back to school. I finished my BSN in 2018. I was already a chief nurse at that point. I did my BSN watching the industry, and I realized in New Orleans, I had a great reputation. In Dallas, I was building my reputation. But I noticed that a lot of private equities was coming into healthcare. And I'm like, these people don't know me. They're going to go by the commas because, that corporate world, they focus on commas. So you're going to have to go and get you some more commas behind your name. And then I went back and got my MBA. When was that? 2022. I finished my MBA. And then I decided I wanted to polish off my infusion nursing and, get my credentials in that as well. So I went and pursued that. And I believe that was also around 2021. And I just did all of that as just prove yourself, not necessarily to prove it to anyone else, but prove it to yourself and use your commas to get into some doors that you wouldn't normally get into because the corporate world in some areas don't know you. So let that be your entrance. But the experience and all of the jobs and the things that I had obtained was actually before a lot of those commas. What I found was the more that I can show that I'm an asset employee, an asset to anything and anywhere that I go, the more that I had the confidence, and the commas was just an accolade to go along with it. So I had to walk in with that confidence because I've seen a lot of people with DNPs with no confidence. They take the first offer on the table. They work in jobs that don't match the commas, and is really that lacking. So I just started owning who I am as an asset person, and walking in with that. So I just did that just to get into more doors that people would have often closed on me had they just seen RN behind my name, because I had that associate's degree for a very long time.
And I guess I have a very different vantage point on that. And the reason why was because what I always thought was, because the reality of the fact was that there's a few people who actually, well, there's one young lady, I would say, who actually, she's always had an associate's degree, right? Always. And is the CEO of her organization, right? And so because of that, I really thought, and then I've seen people, right, that don't even have degrees. Like, they don't have degrees at all, not one, all right? Except for every now and then you'll see one with an honorary doctorate, right? And so the deal is that they don't have any degrees. They are, multimillionaires. And so I was like, well, the disparity doesn't make any sense to me. And so I went back to school because I had that mentality initially too, right? I had the mentality that I've got to get all these letters behind my name. And it was more so for the, inside of healthcare, right? Inside the box. But once I got outside the box, I was like, I ain't need all these degrees. What? Why did I go back to school? Why did I do this again? But you are correct in that it probably gave me a little bit more confidence when I'm speaking to other people, right? In that space. And so I just feel like as long as you're solving their problem,
Mm-hmm.
they don't care who you are.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care who you are. They just want the problem to be solved. Because when we think about it, there are people who are in the C suite that have never worked in healthcare a day in their lives.
Yeah.
Not one. And that's what you have to understand. When you come in with that problem solving mindset, whether you worked in healthcare or whether you worked outside of healthcare, then you're good. But I love, love, love your mindset. I love how you show up because you always show up on point. You always show up with that positive, I'm going to go get it type of mindset. Now, tell us a few things about what has happened here recently.
So recently, I had an opportunity to meet you. I don't even remember when I signed up for the class, y'all. And I'm going to say that over and over because I do not remember. But I knew that I was on this path where I was like, I need to be able to put myself in positions to write big checks again. Um, and I need to write a book. I need to get out there and inspire more nurses. There are more opportunities. And I started learning about nurse coaching. I'm like, I've been doing this. I've been coaching nurses for years for free. I've been helping people open up home health agencies for years, helping people to repair the agencies. I need to do something else in this season of my life. And at some point, I must have seen your commercial. At some point, I signed up because you didn't just show up on my phone one day like reminder, your master call is happening right now. What? Okay. So I just clicked on the link. I'm cooking. I got company at my house. And I said, look, just hang on, hang out. I'm cooking the food and I'm on a call and I'm on that just like preaching. Yeah, say that. Yep, I sure do. I know about that. Yep, yep. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And so I find myself in this rhythm and I was like, now you know that you don't talk without backing something up. So she was like, so you got to sign up so you can, follow up and learn more. I was like, do that. So I signed up, and then she said, I will blacklist you if you don't show up for the call. Oh, hold on. We don't do backlights. Hold on. Let me go to my calendar and let me put this date and alert. Because if you said that that's what you want to do, then you show up. You can't get a six pack by sitting down watching TV. You got to get up and do something. So, Danielle, what are you going to do to show action to your father? What you going to do? And so that's how I got here because I want to really take it to the next level. It's not about money for me. I have done well with my life. For me, it's really about helping the next nurse. For me, it's about nurses taking back healthcare. Private equity firms are coming in. A lot of people who've done nothing in healthcare is coming into the C-suites and they're making decisions they have no idea about. But here's the next catch. They want you. They want nurses. They want people to help them. These big organizations that's creating products, they want nurses. But if you don't say what your dollar amount is, they will take you for free. And you think it's so great because I helped to create this great product. You made not $1 off of it. They're putting their kids through school and you're not putting yours through school. You're taking out student loans to put your kids through school. And you have the expertise to create the products to get you to the next level to help your family. So it's really for me, it's honestly about helping those people, those nurses that want to take it to the next level, but just don't know how. If you have the courage to jump, I'm here for you. Because I tell you, every little thing that you need will be there along the way. We just need you to start walking, start jumping toward what you want. Make the phone call, make the next step. Everything else will be there. So that's why I'm here.
It's one of the things that I love about what you just said, because I remember there was this young lady that came to she started commenting on one of my ads, and she was like, if I had all that knowledge, I would just give it away for free. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I mean, that's cool, lady, but that's not what we're doing over here. First of all, I said, because like you said, you have an obligation to your own family. You gotta, and it's this, and this is a thing amongst nurses because we have always had that giving spirit.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But you have to nurture yourself first. Like you have got to give yourself first before you can overflow. And that's the reason why I think the burnout in nursing is so real, it's so large, it's
Mhm.
so looming because we are constantly giving, 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 giving while our family is suffering at home. It makes absolutely no sense. So I love, love, love what you said. You have been, listen, you're rocking it out, and I'm so super proud of you, so super proud of you. So tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, yes. You can find me at Nursing and Style Consulting on Facebook and Instagram. I also go by Danny Renee on Facebook. And you can find me on LinkedIn at Danielle Jenkins. I look forward to helping nurses to grow, breaking your mindset, and helping you to create opportunities for your family and your friends and others. Use your knowledge to help your families to grow. Fill up your own cup.
I love it. Now I have some rapid fire questions that I have to ask everybody. Okay, so you ready?
All right.
All right. So now, what has been the most rewarding thing about nursing?
uh, it's no one path. The most rewarding thing about nursing is you get to do this nice little zigzag thing. If you don't like something, you can start something else. The independence to start a business within any area of nursing. That's what I love about nursing. There's no limits to nursing. When people say you don't regret, not going to med school, why did you become a nurse? Are you kidding me? I'm not stuck. I make just as much as doctors make. I'm not stuck. I can zigzag and do all sorts of things. That's what I love.
Now, what is the most common misconception about nursing?
You work in a hospital.
Facts. Now, what are you reading now?
Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits. I read it years ago. Pulled it back up because Dr. V put that in one of her suggestions. And mindset. Mindset. Y'all think that that's not true? Mindset is everything. Environment is everything. You have to be in a thriving environment. You have to be around other people talking about business. If you're around people that's only talking about them 12-hour shifts and woe is me and what's happening at the hospital and what's happening on my job, you in the wrong circles. You got to get around people who are talking about writing $10,000 checks. Now I'm around people who are talking about writing $100,000 checks. What? I need to be able to write me $100,000 check. What? I need to be able to write out a scholarship. That's what I want to do. That's my biggest passion is I want to be able to give back opportunities to people who don't have those opportunities to show them a world that they would never see. If you don't see it, you can't be it. So we need more people to be it so other people can see it and so we can break these barriers.
I love it. Now, who is a leader, living or dead, that you would like to have a conversation with?
Oprah Winfrey. I see myself already sitting before Oprah, having these conversations about the mindset shifts, about the aha moments. You know what I would say? You don't get an aha moment if you're not alert. So, what I mean by that, you have to ever be present. You got to check in with yourself. There's so many times you'll miss it. Remember that moment when I had that inkling that said, say hello to that girl with the daiquiri?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I would have missed that had I not been in tune.
mm-hmm.
And so those are aha moments that Oprah likes to call. You have to be in tune with yourself to get those aha moments so you know when it's those next little coins to help you along your path. Just like we're having this conversation right now, somebody is listening to this and they're having an aha moment right now. You have to jump at your aha moment and make that phone call. Because if you let that pass, that girl with the daiquiri was going to go her separate ways, and that was not going to be my opportunity. And I'm so grateful for my friend Laura Dion today because she helped me on my pathway. And she didn't know that that was going to be set up at that time and at that minute. So Oprah would be the one that I would love to talk to. And then passed away, Nelson Mandela, believe it or not, and just dropped in my spirit because how you sit in jail for that long and stay that graceful, then you lose your wife while you're in there, you lost your son, all of this happening, and you still have this beautiful attitude, and then you come out and then you're made the president. Like how you get through all of that and still be okay, and then apartheid is now over, and then people still acting like they're in bondage. You sat in jail all of me. How did you stay so graceful? And then I have to think about my own father in heaven. I'm like, we out here acting a fool. And you went through all of this. And then I think about my great great grandfather and my great great grandmother going through slavery and looking for freedoms, wanted to drink, and even when we got to some freedoms, I want to just drink out of the water faucet that I want to drink out of. I want to sit in front of the bus, not the back of the bus. And we acting a fool and not taking advantage of all of these freedoms. I would like to go back and have a conversation with some of my ancestors and say, are you proud of me at this point? And I think my ancestors, because I know my grandparent, she would say, you could do more.
I love it.
You're not finished yet. Own that house, own that kingdom, own that business, and go get the next one. For all that we went through, keep pushing. Go get it. That's what I hear my great grandmother say. Go get it, Danielle. Don't stop. You bad girl. Go get it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love what you said about Nelson Mandela. There's a couple of things I love what you said. Nelson Mandela, because you can't be it until you see it. But if you think about it in the Bible, Joseph did the same thing, right? He did the very same thing. So whenever you read the Bible, all those leadership things come into play. That's number one. Number two, I told my husband last night, because we were talking about the fact that I don't meet a stranger, right? Like I talk to everybody. Like we go on these trips, and I'm like, hey, what's your name? So it's just like, leave that person alone. And I was like, listen, I said, the people need to know me. I need to know them. Okay. It's gonna be okay. I said, because we never know where those relationships are going to lead us. So I'm going to snip that out, and then I'm going to show it to my husband so that he'll know. Okay. I love it. So now, what is your favorite movie?
Like so many people, Color Purple. Color Purple is my favorite movie. I could probably quote a whole lot of it, and now that it's back out in theaters again, people can quote it. Why? Because Celie, there's times when you have to learn to shut up and do what you have to do to get to where you want to go. Celie didn't lose the faith. And every time she was losing her faith, there was someone that was along the way. The man's mistress, when she was losing her faith, she came there and then helped Celie to hold that head up and to believe in herself again and to push herself. And Celie started her company. Y'all know I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and was making them pants. And she was just so confident. And when Celie was blessed with her home that she didn't know that was by her real daddy. It was just so many things along the way. And I felt like Celie wouldn't have seen that had she given up, had she not been alert to her aha moments. Throughout that movie, Celie had several aha moments, and she was alert to it. And when that part when they said, you told Mister to beat me, and she was like, yeah, because you was acting a fool. And, that's all I knew. Like, you just needed to be beat. And the Oprah character had to let her know, no, baby, you got to learn to stand up for yourself and stop letting people walk over you. That was an aha moment. And when she finally stood up and told Mister, everything that you did to me is going to come back to you. I started recognizing you got to be careful what you're putting out, Danielle, how you treat people, because everything that you put out is going to come back. And the more that you treat people and be kind to people, the more that's going to come to you. Now, there's two folds to this, because here's the part where nurses get confused. We constantly give because that's what we were taught, right? You don't have to give everything away for free. I'm very, very kind to people. I give some nuggets. I drop little nuggets. I ain't dropping all my nuggets. I'm going to drop enough nuggets for you to come on back, and then you can get the real meal. You can get an appetizer for free, but you ain't getting a whole dinner. Okay. Because there's a level of boundaries where you're going to be abused, and nurses like boundaries. And that's how we don't get an opportunity to take advantage. So that movie, Color Purple, because it has so many levels of lessons in there. If you just be alert to your aha moments, you'll get it. And so I hope that this session is an aha for somebody.
I love it. How do you define success?
That's a good question. I actually define success about how I feel. What makes you feel good about what you're doing? So for me, it's making an impact, and it's being able to give back. That's my level of success. Having that sense of freedom, is my level of success. When I decide that I want to take a vacation, I don't have to sit here and keep asking questions to nobody and nothing. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna do. Um, that's for me for my success. My success is not letting myself down because I took chances. So I often say I can close my eyes and I'm totally satisfied because I have not stopped betting on me.
Mm,
That's success for me.
I love it. And last but not least, what is your life's motto?
Never let the fear of striking out keeping you from taking chances. Life is meant to be lived.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you, Danielle. This has been a very fruitful conversation, and it's been very good. And it's great to see your insight and everything that you have to offer. And so, listen, if y'all are trying to open a home health company or an infusion company, listen, Danielle is your woman because she is just amazing at it. And so, and she's just good. I mean, she's been in she's in my program, and so I know she's good, right? I vetted her, know exactly how she is. She's just amazing at how she executes and how she does things. I refer someone to her. I don't refer people to anybody unless they have been absolutely amazing from the gate. So go and follow her. We do have our master class that's coming up. It's going to be amazing. We will, if you go to vpnursing.com, you can sign up for the next master class, and we will see you, ladies and gentlemen, later. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day.